Hey people, Intro here, 3v3-Maya. Got a bit of a chaotic invasion going on. Blue team though, SchmusCriminal's Kommando knob, an infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins with a twin-link shooter alongside Zorander's Daemonhunter, a spellcaster with a ranged weapon by default, with powerful control and support. Rounding off the blue team, MakeEldarsGreatAgain, finally actually playing as an Eldar hero for the first time I can remember, I think. This is a Farseer support hero fighting in melee with some powerful buffs and control, and we have the Ulthway DLC recolored into yellow here. For the Chaos fellas, a couple of Chaos Sorcerers. This is Bocchi, I'm going to say, with Thousand Suns elite scheme, and Fog rocking the Iron Warriors elite scheme. These are offensive and destructive heroes with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. Rounding off the team, Sharp Pointy Talons is a Plague champion. Starts off with a damage of a time bolt gun, can get to melee weapons, debilitates enemies and supports allies, can also repair on the south side there against the Farseer. Back to the mid though, contested VP, Commando's being sneaky, looking for stun bond maybe. Doom bolts, aiming at the Stormtroopers, doing some good damage. Another Doom bolts, aimed at the sluggers there, also doing some good hits. Chaos fellas backing off a bit, maybe drawing the strike squad into the double CSM and the heretics there. Should have put both of those CSM squads into melee, I feel like, although sluggers were backing up behind. Sluggers are sent packing though, more doom blasting heretics and sorcerers consuming heretics. Another doom bolts onto the blob of double shooter boys. That was some decent hits as well. CSM now looking for melee on the shooter boys, so as the sorcerer gets them off the field, and chaos prevail barely in the mid. But I mean, we've got both of their sorcerers and two CSM, so they won the fight quite well there. Backing off there was vital, I think, drawing the strike squad in. Put them in a bad spot. Daemonhunter runs as more CSM on the field. Oh, Fog did lose some heretics though. I guess that evened the fight up quite a lot. But the heretics have been replaced. They're quite replaceable. There's quite a lot of heretics around, it turns out. In the south, some Nurgle worship and power being captured. This is contested power. Doesn't want to try and push onto the natural, looks like. Afraid of overextending and then his own power getting hit on this side. I think it's quite smart to hang back here. Heretics do have grenade launchers, which is handy because there's a Guardian weapon team now. They're going to try and suppress that Plague Champion. There's the barrage coming in and the disruption. Plague Champion operates very well under suppression, firing at the same rate. So those Guardians felt the wrath of his damage over time. Stinky Bolter there. And dropped a model before they backed off. Here comes some Howling Banshees now moving up. And in the mid, the Commandos getting a very sneaky decap. Nothing can spot him. There he goes. When he start capping you up, you do get spotted. Looters with the Death Gun Doom Bolts. Killed a model. The Strike Squad have found their books, the Tomes of Titan. More health, more region out of combat, then gives them Banishment and the Psychic Bursting. Down in the south, Power Melee Howling Banshees harassing some Chaos Space Marines. Here come Heretics though with a Doom Blast, sends them packing. Farseer still in there, going for, nope, cancels Spiritual Rights for the heal. Instead goes for Doombringer. More aggressive choice, of course. Back to the mid. Commando's in an awkward spot, getting in around those CSM and Interceptors on the field for Zorander. Teleporting squad fighting in melee. They can get ranged weapons in tier 3. Pretty good ranged weapons too. Are they going to go straight through onto the power? They aren't. I think they should have. Could take that node down with the burners and decap it. Raptors on the field now for both of the sorcerers actually. There's a jump. Raptors are jump squads that suppress enemy units when they land. 30 DPS melee. Same damage output as the Interceptors, but they have less health. Arguably a worse jump as well. I mean, sometimes suppression's better, but the teleport with disruption's pretty damn good. That was the Rift Tear there, slowing down those units from the Daemonhunter. One of his starting abilities. Also has the Purification though to give energy back, which could be really handy actually for the Kommando knob. But he may just be using it on his own Interceptors a bit more. Down in the south, Chaos Fella's still holding that power. Another barrage on the Shuriken Banshee's looking for another way around here. Heretics have to flee in terror, but I assume they just decapped that, so that's alright. Sorcerer's been downed because he's lost his indicator, which I completely missed at some point. Heretics with the Aspiring Champion here for Fog. 475 to 499. Eldar onto the power. And there's that Doombringer in the Farseer's hands. She also has Armor of Fortune. Just cast it on the Howling Banshees there. Is it 30% or 25? 30% damage resistance for 15 seconds. Lasts a decent amount of time, actually. Raptors get a good jump. Looks like Guide was on those Shuriken fellas. Big retreat from the Eldar. Nice assist in the end from Bocchi. In fact, did they both come over? Yeah. Both of the Sorcerers helping out the Plague Champion there. Who is back out onto the field with Fetid Armor. Unholy Stench to suppress those Howling Banshees, no doubt. Really good on-demand suppression. Some tier 2s coming in. From Bocchi 2 now. Looks like it's Fog and MakeEldarsGreatAgain, who are in the tier 1s. Sorcerer looking for the Doom Bolts? No. Oh, fires it on the Interceptors. Was waiting for these guys to come in. I thought he was going to fire it on the Stormtroopers there. Interceptors teleport the hell away. Raptors jump the Looters and they run. Taking out an Interceptor model and other Doom Bolts. And they're on the power, maybe on this War Banner too. I think they should focus the power rather than going for the VP here. There's the Rift Tear though. He can cast this from quite long range, the Daemonhunter. Slowing down those fellas. 463 to 478. Heretic gets consumed. Heretics are really low there. They need to be very careful about diving in. Back to the south. Some dead Eldar. Grenade is tucked in. Didn't do much though. Shurikens preventing sharp pointy Talons from punching through. Maybe looking for a Blood Crusher in tier 2 then. The mid is being capped up by the Chaos fellas. Can they get onto this power convincingly though? Not at the moment. Interceptors are in there. Raptors around to counter-initiate. Some CSM in there could go into melee mode as well. Heretics off the field though. Sorcerer, of course, does have melee weapon. I'm not actually sure what his starting DPS is. Imagine it's around 30. 452 to 473 on the VPs. 2-1 for red. Couldn't get onto the power though. Barely touched it. And they killed a bunch of Grey Knight fellas there actually. I think they killed a Strat Squad fella and maybe even 2 Strat Squads and an Interceptor. Maybe it was the other way around, not sure. 441, 473. Definitely looks like there's... Oh, there's only 2. I thought that was 3 bodies there. I think it was 1 from each. Shooter boys die. Not sure what they were up to. SchmusCriminal, was he chucking them away? I don't think you chucked them away this early. Sluggers are burning down gens with their Knob Leader. Blood Crusher is indeed on the field for sharp pointy Talons. And he's got a sharp pointy sword on fire, that Bloodletter. There's that Nurgle Worship. The Blood Crusher is of course a demon, so Worship benefits it hugely with health and energy regen. And because it's Nurgle Worship, you get some extra health regen. This thing has heavy melee damage, good mobility, not the toughest thing around. But you get it out early, micro it well, it can be an absolute menace. Farseer does have Doombringer, and we see Warp Spiders is the shout here. The Banshees do have their heavy melee weapon, and a Blood Crusher with 0 melee resistance took a decent chunk of damage there actually. Oh, we have a Bright Lance now. So that Blood Crusher could go down very, very quickly with Doom on it. The Bright Lance gets some hits, and the Haywire Grenade and the Howling Banshees. MakeEldarsGreatAgain asking AV. Grey Knight Dreadnought on the way for Zorander. Warp Spiders are on the field. A Blood Crusher for Fog now. Raptors in a bad spot, but are able to get away. The mid is blue. 441 to 440 on the VPs. Very close then. Got some Marcus Zinch CSM for Bocchi. Incredibly effective against infantry, especially heavy and super heavy infantry. And it's double the Mark of Zinch. Big investment in those guys. Bad news for the Strat Squad and for the Interceptors. And for some later game Orky infantry perhaps. But was that purchased a bit early? The double Mark of Zinch guys with the Aspiring Champion? Because that's like 50 power to get the Mark of Zinch and the Aspiring Champions on the field, isn't it? Or are they 20, the Aspiring Champions? Blood Crusher eats a Haywire. Did not get doomed from what I can see though. Maybe I just can't see it. Can be sometimes hard to spot on larger units, but I don't think it's in there. Nurgle Worship helps it out, of course. The Dreadnought with a plasma cannon. Oh, there's Doom. Doom on the Sorcerer. But he gets away. Sorcerer gets out. Raptors jump the Warp Spiders. That is a foot of Gork, and that is nasty. Set up by the Rift Tear. Big boom there from the Weird Boy. He's also got bigger brains for over there. Usually used to chuck sluggers into a fight, but he can use it to get a unit out of a fight, I guess. I'm not sure what the range actually is on it in terms of how far you can cast it. I don't think you can cast it that far. Bloodcrusher pressuring the Dreadnought. This Dreadnought with a plasma cannon and twin-linked heavy bolter has no melee attack whatsoever. 2-to-1 cap here for the blue team. Plague Marines for bocchi. Need something to deal with the Dreadnought, and a las cannon on the way for Fog on those soon-to-be Marco Zinch Havoc fellas. What is this? Sluggers doing some behind enemy lines shenanigans, but now they have to fight a Bloodcrusher, which I don't want. That gets them out of there. We've got some Mark of Khorne Chaos Space Marines over there now. From Fog, I guess. Yep. And they are getting their aspiring champion, who does get a melter pistol. Can help against these vehicles. Sharp Pointy Talons is pushing down the south side, but there's a big flank coming. Looks like he has noticed that. Maybe it was a ping from his ally. And the Plague Champion's ready to roll. Icon of Nurgle, that fetid armor, and a big old Plague Fist. Daemonhunter's got a melee weapon, looks like the Force Rod in his hand for the awesome Retribution. Silences, damages, and knocks back. I mean, what else do you want from an ability? Pretty nuts. Tier 3 for SchmusCriminal soon. Sharp Pointy Talons has some Bloodletters, and that Bloodcrusher is still alive. Here comes the assist now from Fog with the Rod of Warp Fire. Big fight. Big old fight. Looks like Slaughter's been popped on those CSM, but they got jumped by the Interceptors. Interceptors off the field. Can the Bloodcrusher get onto the Dreadnought? There's some Zinchian worship, and here come the Orks. What is this? This is Mark of Khorne CSM being chased by the Farseer and Howling Banshees. Bad place for them to be. There's Guide on the Banshees there. And they're staying in the fight. I think Fog has forgotten about these fellas, you know. They are going to wipe CSM down. Fully upgraded CSM as well. That's a heavy loss. Raptors with aspiring champion. With that cacophony effect on landing. These guys don't have an aspiring champion, but they do got a jump. Sluggers are there. I don't think they want to fight all this stuff though. And we have the Robes of Torment and the Chains of Torment there, messing with the Sluggers. You might see it from Fog, especially if SchmusCriminal goes for Nob Squads. I think this is not against double Sorcerers. One of them's already got Robes of Torment. You really want to get Nob Squad. Probably not. Bloodcrusher's on the Farseer. Looks like she threw Fortune on herself there. And Runes of Reaping. Bloodcrusher still going. Good use of worship for Sharp Pointy Talons. By good use, I mean he's just using it a lot. Every fight he throws it up, keeps that Bloodcrusher going. 425 to 314. I guess with the Grenade Launcher Heretics you can maybe... Ouch, there's that Retribution. Look at that good hit. I mean the Marco Zinch fellas don't have... Or the Plague Marines, they don't have any abilities to silence, but that knockback allows those melee squads to get in. Decent damage as well. But as I was saying, if you got those grenade launchers, you can do a grenade barrage, worship, and then come out of worship just to do another grenade barrage, go back into worship again. Tier 3 for MakeEldarsGreatAgain, also Tier 3 for Sharp Pointy Talons. It's the two Sorcerers in Tier 2. On the power though, is Sharp Pointy Talons, level 2 Plague Champion. Could throw up the Pestilent Strike here too, there it is. Stuns the Farseer, protects this stuff from ranged DPS. Bloodletters get a generator down. Plague Champion with Doom. But the Plague Fist gives so much, 90% range damage reduction. I believe in 2.11, which is out now, this has been significantly reduced. At least that was on the cards at some point. I need to reread the release notes, I think. More flash kits for SchmusCriminal. Interceptors with that good work. Got their Justicar in here, gets a power weapon. Banshees looking for a flank. couldn't quite get there in time. A couple of seconds earlier, I think maybe those heretics would have been wiped. There's that demonic roar from the Blood Crusher. Still going, level 2. A Seer Council on the field. They're getting empowered spears. That's really bad for the Blood Crusher now. Commando Knob goes down. Red Chaos Fellas capping mid. Sorcerer grabbing Wreck Point. Can they get on this power? Blood Crusher of Fog, has to be said, is also still around. Right yellow. Also level 2. Getting onto those flash kits. The flash kits with their blasters. Doing psychic damage, so pretty ineffective against vehicles, but very effective against infantry, especially heavily armored infantry, since the psychic damage just bypasses all of that, is the idea. Armor doesn't matter if they're messing with your brain or whatever. Tier 3 now for Fog. Bocchi is there already. Raptor's barely getting away. Looks like Tempest is up for Zorander. Slows you down, silences you, and then does damage the longer you channel it based on your energy. Looks like he could do with some energy. We may see the Tome of Tranquility on him. Sorcerer level 4. Blood Crusher charging through aggressively to get onto those flash kits. Could maybe get onto the Weird Boy as well. Have you seen the Warp Fire go in? Not sure if we just saw it there, maybe. So flash kits are heavy infantry. The Marcus Inc. CSM will do huge amounts of damage to them. Can they trade with them though? Because those blasters are outrageously painful for those fellas. Blood Crusher doing some amazing work on the front line there. Might be worth one of these sorcerers getting bloodletters, you know. Oh hey, we've got some Crusaders up. These guys unique to the Daemonhunter. And their Acolyte leader fellas in there too. More squad damage and damage resistance. Also makes their battle frenzy better. It's a really good squad leader, that guy. I think he's got a decent power weapon, hasn't he? Yeah, 55 power melee DPS. Just on his two-handed eviscerator chain axe thing there. But hey, there's the Torment. Torment into Doombolts. 346 to 308 in the south. It's kind of quiet. I mean, right now. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff down here. We'll see how these Crusaders stack up into the later game. Haven't seen them around for a while. Chaos Predator on the way for Bocchi. Doesn't want to push it forward, that's for sure, because there could be Seer Council on a flank kind of thing with their heavy melee spears now. Blue team take the mid. 2-1. VP still very even though. What is Fog's next purchase? Is it another tank? Blood Crusher charges in. Is this where you want to charge in there, bud? Seer Councilor right there. There's that Nurgle Worship. Got some Chaos Terminators for sharp pointed Talons. There's the Tempest and an assist from Zorander. Sorcerer's here though. What is this? That is Raptors trying to fight the Seer Council, which isn't going to work out great for them. Banshee's already off the field, I guess. Here comes the Plague Champion. There's that Nurgle Worship. The Tempest is still going. Does slow down allies. I assume it doesn't damage them though. Doom Bolts. Seer Council fighting the Bloodletters. Yeah, they're more than a match for them. Farseer in there, level 3. Does have the Spirit Stones now. Plague Champion, who's he going to go after? Going after the Farseer. There's Doom on the Bloodletters, but they're off the field. So are the Seer Council. They dropped a couple. Another Tempest from the Daemonhunter. Blood Crusher goes after him. Crusaders are there. These guys become more powerful as they drop models. Here's the battle frenzy going on. More damage resist and regen. Sorcerer barely gets the Blood Crusher out of there. That was so close. Crusaders actually did a good work against that Blood Crusher there with their regular melee weapons, most of them, I believe. Commando Knob level 3 with a rocket launcher. And we're going to see a Mark of Nurgle tank. Makes it very tough. Pretty effective against infantry. Not so as effective against larger targets, though, and then vehicles and stuff. Because the main gun turns into like a Nurgle splash damage thing. Leaving crud on the ground. 3-2-1 to 3-6-7. Fog also got Chaos Terminators, I guess. Where are they? They're right here. With those Combi Bolters and Power Fist. They're trying to take down the Commando Knob, looks like. Down he goes. I think the Sorcerer maybe got in there. Another Tempest. The tank is already gone. I wasn't even paying attention to it. It's already gone. What the hell happened? Oh, there's a beamy looters in there. Kommando Nob did go down, though, getting the shots in. Land Raider Crusader on the way for Zorander. Eldar, where are you going? I don't want to engage right now, looks like. Sharp Pointed Talons is pushing down that south side. Can he get a full power bash? He's got to get a full power bash to make this worth it. To make it worth not assisting in the mid. Does have Lightning Claw Chaos Terminators, which is maybe why MakeEldars did not want to engage, because they will rip apart basically the entire Eldar army. Especially with some support in there. And the Icon of Nurgle going. 279, 267. Blood Crusher's down. Seer Council got it done. Eldar diving through the mid. And they're on to these Terminators now. They should be close enough to base to get away. The Sorcerer going to help. Yep, there's the Warp Fire. Good hit on it. He has pretty quick cast time, that thing. VPs are so even, though, again. Sharp Pointed Talons got a full bash and a decap, and maybe even a cap. In fact, he will definitely get it. Avatar of Cain on the way for MakeEldarsGreatAgain. That's going to be really powerful. He's got some nice passive buffs around him for this melee army of Seer Council and Howling Banshees. Lightning Claw Terminators have found the Kommando Nob. It didn't work out too great for him. Won't work out too great for any of this stuff being found by his Terminators, actually. Daemonhunter leveled up. Now they turn onto the Strike Squad. And they are getting absolutely decimated there. Interceptors, though, with their Psy Cannons. Doing some good damage to the Terminators. Crusaders chasing them off. Interceptors giving chase. If the Interceptors weren't here, they would have just stayed and fought back here, I think. See that demoralization effect as stuff is dying. Tempest thrown in the back there. Mob of heretics moving up. Couldn't quite get a revive. Nice little impact grenade. And the Terminators did not drop a model. Mid is still blue. And there's a Crusader. Hurricane Bolters on the side sponsons. Twin-linked Assault Cannon and a Multi-Melter on the top. You can reinforce off it or give you health and energy regen as well. Where's the Avatar going to go? There he is. Going straight to the south. At the moment anyway. Super unit for Eldar. As I said, lots of great buffs around him. Including suppression resistance. And I think it has damage and defensive buffs too. Not to mention being a pretty effective combatant in his own right, this fella. To say the least. He's got a sword the size of a tank. Bocchi's down to only 3 units. So is Fog. There comes a Land Raider Phobos. And we got some chosen Plague Marines now. For Sharp Pointed Talons, unique to the Plague Champion. They also have kind of an Icon of Nurgle effect around them. What was that? That is Flash Kits doing Flash Kit things, I think. Bocchi just lost some CSM. Decent Doom Bolts there. Still got the Raptors who can jump the Flash Kits. But then I'd have to deal with Orky melee, wouldn't they? Tempest chucked onto the worshipping heretics there, which seems kind of rude. Mr. Daemonhunter. Wrath of Cain. Oh, it didn't affect the Bloodletters because they were phase shifted, but that is a really nice levitation field there from MakeEldarsGreatAgain. Just sprinted in with the Fleet of Foot and gets a good hit on that. Spirit Stone's heal goes off as well. Wailing Doom. Now can the Terminators plant their feet and start shredding stuff? Because they will shred the Avatar. Not sure what they're targeting here. Looks like they're targeting the Warp Spiders, actually. Warp Spiders are off the field now. Now they can fight the Seer Council, I suppose. 270 to 158. There's the Phobos on the left of your screen. Can the Avatar get away? He's a long way from home. He can't retreat. Crusaders up here helping out as well. And Orks are piling through the mid. And those Flash Kits are just an absolute menace. Yeah, I think all of the Marker YEET CSM was a mistake. Really paid a lot for those guys. They weren't going to trade Super Welder flash kits. And there were interceptors around to get on them too. Better to invest in other stuff, I think. Orbital bombardment thrown in from Zorander. Get some heretics in it. Those heretics need to retreat. They did not retreat. But they live. They did live. There's a Tempest in there too. The Terminators also lived. 270 to 126. The blue team looking really strong now, actually. Really strong. Lost a bit too much in the mid to those flash kits, it seems. What level are these guys? Level 2, level 1. These guys have no XP whatsoever, actually. Maybe it hasn't all been the flash kits. Level 4 Sorcerer does have Tome of Subjugation. He's getting Marker YEET CSM again. Why? Why so much invested in these guys? When you only got 2 other units on the field. See how it goes. Another Tempest. There's constant Tempest. There's so much stuff, all supported by that Crusader. And we could see an Eldritch Storm chucked in at some point. See a Council getting through. Where's the Dirge Caster? There it is. Save the Plague Champion, I think. But let us kill one. Dirge Caster stuns and then debuffs units around it. Do they have any Noble Worship going on? No. Sharp Pointy Talons does not have any Heretics left. Does have a Great Unclean one on the way though. It's so difficult to push against this. So difficult. The Interceptor's having a look. Nope. Teleporting away. There is a slight delay on that. Blue team still have the mid. I do see some red stuff there trying to get it though. Chosen Plague Marines exploding. Oh, there's a zombie Crusader because of Noble's Rot. Great Unclean one on the way for Bocchi as well. Now, he will take a bunch of damage from the flash kits, but he can just run up to them and smack them pretty good. I mean, 2 Great Unclean ones on the field is no joke. Level 3 Seer Council though, level 4 Howling Banshees and an Avatar still up. Not to mention the other things. Chaos Terminators on the cap, they do have an auto cannon. Pretty expensive upgrade. I also think this is one of the things that players maybe grab a bit too hastily. There's quite a lot of power. And their combi bolters are pretty damn good. And the autocannon is also pretty damn good, isn't it? 267 to 87 on the VPs. Second Great Unclean one is up. Is there just going to be one big brawl in the mid? Sharp Pointy Talons talking of abuse. I'm not sure what he's meaning. Maybe because he got kind of a little bit base locked. Sure. 255 to 287. The Marker YEET CSM will certainly be really good against that Avatar. Tied up by Crusaders who then get subjugated. Sorcerer is in a bad spot though. He's going to go down to the Seer Council. Here's a Great Unclean one. Where's the other guy? Oh, there he is. He's in there. Also has a kind of Icon of Noble effect, passively damaging nearby enemies. Powerful in melee, has some good abilities too. And of course it can worship the big fella. No heretics around to worship them though, at all, actually. 3 flash kits for SchmusCriminal. Big chunks of the Great Unclean one, big chunks, especially slowed down by that Tempest. Yeah, huge damage. Oh, that's a Time Field, not a Tempest. There's the Tempest. This Great Unclean one's going to go down. Had no support, basically. They'd all backed off because of the Time Field, I think. Should have turned around immediately when he saw that Time Field. Would have taken a bunch of damage turning around, but I think he would have survived. 244 to 65. Easy for me to say, though, innit? Can they kill the Banshees? Nurgle Vomit says yes. Phobos is pushed back. There's an Eldritch and a Rocks. Phobos is going to go bye-bye. Down he goes. Blue team have it for sure. Although the red team are going to fight to the end here. Got a decent amount of resources to have a go. No abysses that I saw. Not sure. I guess they got Terminators up. Maybe there was a bunch of dark flames and stuff that I didn't see, and warps from the sorcerers. Oh, this like sharp pointy Talons is not happy about Tempest and the amount of times it can be used, I guess. I suppose it's got quite a short cooldown. It might be like 40-second cooldown. Chaos Terminators are going to wipe. Indeed they do. Chosen Plague Marine is still in there though. And there's the concede. Blue team get it. Had a really powerful tier 3, didn't they? And yeah, I'm going to say it again. I think they overinvested. Well, it was Bocchi who got a couple of Marcosine CSM up. I don't think they paid for their cost. Could have just kept them as they were and invested into something else. Bunch of Havocs, Bloodletters to get onto the Flash Kits, that kind of thing. Maybe some teleporting sorcerers to get on them too. Have a look at these heroes. Level 5 Kommando Knob. Did have the sneaky infiltration kit at the end. Level 10 Daemonhunter. Just tempested everything in the world. Did get the Tome of Tranquility. Level 7 Farseer. Pretty solid with Doombringer, Armor of Assyrian and Spirit Stones. And did have the Gravity Blade. We also saw a few times. Level 4 Sorcerer, Level 7 Sorcerer, and a Level 4 Plague Champion. There you have it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this Chaos Invasion. They fought them off this time, and I'll see ya next time.